Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone. My name is Kathy, and today I'd like to direct your attention to a filing that the defense submitted June 6th, 2023, and it is a memorandum regarding cameras during hearings in the matter styled as Idaho versus Kohberger. And Mr. Kohberger's counsel in this filing goes into the Sixth Amendment, talks about Mr. Kohberger's right and that he possesses that right to have a fair trial. We've seen where the state has submitted filings that they have a right to a fair trial, and that may be true, but they don't own that constitutional Sixth Amendment protected right, as defense counsel makes abundantly clear in this filing. That belongs to Mr. Kohberger. The Sixth Amendment guarantees that any criminal defendant who is charged with crimes, and Mr. Kohberger has been charged with some extraordinarily serious crimes by the state of Idaho, that he's entitled to a fair trial. And the concern here is that if there are cameras in the courtroom, that the cameras may take images in a way that's prejudicial to Mr. Kohberger, that by way of example, you might think it might focus on him, do close-ups of him, of his body, of his hands, of his face, and really focus heavily on him. So what the defense is saying here, Judge, please consider this very seriously, and please limit the cameras in the courtroom during hearings to prevent Mr. Kohberger from being harassed, to prevent courtroom participants, people that may be witnesses or that are sitting in the courtroom just watching the proceedings, that they are not harassed by the presence of these cameras. And they're saying here, this is specifically during hearings. This does not address if cameras want to set up outside of the courthouse, in the parking lot, on the steps, and report from there. That's not what they're addressing here. They're just talking about wanting to ensure that if the court allows cameras during hearings, that Mr. Kohberger's rights are preserved. And if you look at page 2 of this document, they drive home the point with rare photographs, images within a court filing. You very rarely see images in the middle of a filing, but we do here. There are images of Mr. Kohberger that was all over the media. It's a still of him leaning over his father during the time when he was driving from Pullman, Washington to Pennsylvania in December 2022 during his holiday break to spend his holidays with the family. He's literally leaning over his father and he's looking up. This is from the Indiana stop that he had. He was stopped twice within a few minutes of each other, and this is a still from that body cam footage. There's other photographs of him in the courtroom, close-ups, and then there's a still of Nancy Grace, who is a TV personality who has been no fan of Mr. Kohberger's. She's looking very terse, and there's a headline there. So what the defense is doing here is to back up their words. They're showing actual images of how they feel that Mr. Kohberger has been prejudiced in the media, and they don't want to see this happen in the courtroom. If you'd like to take a look at this filing, please follow the link that I have provided in the description to this podcast. I want to thank you, as always, for joining us here at the Indie Zone. I hope that you will join us again.